we are focusing on the topic of music. And just a little bit of background, like, we all know history, like a little bit of history, if it's not much. And that would be music. It's also something that combines us, or not combines us, that'd be weird, that connects us as human beings. And it helps us express ourselves, our lives, and how we are. And they've used it for many, many years, centuries, to signify winning, losing wars, going into war, coming home from war, dancing, rituals. And it's just a very wide subject. So, hi, I'm Liberty Scott-Roth, a journalism staff member for the Vortex. Today on our podcast, my teacher is making me. We're going to talk about music. The best thing to ever exist. I swear. I'm here with Mr. Strickland. How are you today?
I'm doing alright. Hanging in there, trying to make it through a tough school year.
Yeah, that's how we're all feeling right now. What song would you listen to right now to match your mood?
Oh gosh. I have so many favorites. Because I don't necessarily listen to just one genre or one style of music. So music is definitely dependent on my mood. I would say, I don't know if I can narrow it down to a single song, but I could definitely narrow it down to a specific style. I've been really into classic rock of the 60s and 70s more recently. So I would say something in that
Okay.
in that area. I don't know specifically, but just the general style would be fine.
Yeah, alright. What's your favorite, genre or song to listen to when doing something like cleaning or chores?
Typically, if I'm cleaning or and I'm doing something that's keeping me busy, physically active, I like stuff that's more upbeat. Again, not necessarily a specific genre, just stuff that's upbeat because I tend to move with the music when I'm doing things like that. So if I'm exercising, doing some cardio or something, if I'm jogging around the neighborhood, or if I'm riding on a stationary bike or something like that, I like to listen to, like I said, more upbeat type stuff. Generally, I do tend to lean more towards the rock and roll genre, but I'm a fan of like some upbeat hip hop here and there too. So definitely more upbeat music.
Yeah. For me, I personally like the rock and like punk metal stuff like that when I'm cleaning because it just keeps me motivated to do it.
Right, right.
So how does it motivate you?
Well, music for me is extremely motivating because again, it's my career and it's a huge part of my life. It helps me get through the day. A lot of people would think, being a music teacher, that being a music teacher, they'd be, sick of music, wouldn't want to listen to it outside of class or outside of work. But that's not true. Honestly, I would say I probably listen to music more so outside of work than I do dealing with it every day at work. So it's a big motivating factor for me. I mean, if I didn't like music, I'd definitely be in the wrong profession. So.
Yeah. For me, it really depends on what I'm doing or my mood.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm sad, I'm more dependent upon sadder music because I can relate to it better.
Mm-hmm.
So, does music soothe you?
Oh, very much so. I find one of my things that I do a lot before classes start, especially over at DIS. I typically have music playing as the kids come in, and a lot of times it's just like some really relaxing piano music, stuff with no words that's just kind of soothing and like you said, soothing and relaxing, and it's meant to for me anyway, it kind of helps me ease into the day. I can't jump into the day, full upbeat everything. I gotta have stuff that kind of build my way up, so to speak, and get myself ready for the day. So I like listening to that nice piano music because I don't necessarily have to focus on it. And I can focus on prepping for the day or, whatever I've got going on, but I do have the music in the background that helps kind of keep me focused, so to speak. So,
Yeah, I think that's very important. And, like, as I was saying, it's soothing for me because I can kind of relate to it. And, like, how you said with the piano music, it's nice to have something that you don't really have to focus on the words to, and you can just listen to it and get ready for your day.
well, and that's one of my big things too. If it's a song I know, I almost always want to sing along. So then I focus more about singing along than I am whatever task I've got at hand.
Yeah. Okay. And like a little bit of philosophy behind music is that it helps people think, like explain how they think and live and feel, and it can help them kind of project how they're feeling and show other people that they're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's very important for all of us.
Oh, I agree.
And basically, it's just important to get different outlooks on life, because if you're just stuck on one outlook of life, you're gonna get lost.
Mm-hmm. And I feel music can really help with that too, because again, it's more than just one genre. You've got several different styles of music. Often, a lot of the classes that I teach, if it's a music appreciation class or like the history of rock and roll class that I have, a lot of students come in and they're like, well, I don't really like this music, but they come in and I do my best to show them, that there's more out there than just what they listen to. And there have been several times where students have come up to me, after the class has been over for the semester or whatever, and tell me that, I didn't necessarily like this music to start, but now that I know more about it, I'm kind of starting to like it a little bit more. So, and that's all I'm really trying to do, is to show people that there's more out there than what they know.
Definitely. And like, it's important for people to get that. So, getting tongue-tied. I just think it's very important for all of us to learn more about music.
I agree.
So, and we kind of went over this, but like, to go more in depth, why do you think it's important for students to listen or learn music?
Well, I feel that music... let's see, how do I word this? I feel like music is all-encompassing, meaning that it ties in, a little bit of everything. It's one of the few disciplines out there that involve basically all of the other subjects you learn in school. I mean, depending on which music class you take. If you're taking choir, you learn the biology of how the body works to sing, which is your science. You learn proper diction, or how to speak, not just English, but oftentimes, especially in choir, a lot of other languages. So there's your foreign language, there's your English as well. Oftentimes, regardless of whether it's a band class, a choir class, whatever kind of class, music class, we always talk about the history of stuff. So that you're pulling in your history. Music itself, the way that it's built, when we talk about music theory, that's your math, because that's basically all music is it's different frequencies of vibration.
Yeah.
That's your math. And countless other things as well. And so I feel it's important for students to learn about music because, again, like I said, it's one of the few disciplines out there that involves everything you learn in school and kind of melds it all together. Not only that, but I feel that a lot of the students that I've had, specifically in band and choir, they form bonds with each other, because they spend a lot of time. We do competitions for marching band, we do concerts, we do parades, we play for, home football and basketball games, choir. We put on performances, we go to festival, we do all that stuff. So the students spend a lot of time together. So they really build that camaraderie and that friendship with each other. And it becomes kind of like a second family for a lot of students.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel it's really important. Not only that, but it also helps provide a creative outlet for a lot of them. It's a place to go, and they, as you said prior, it helps them to express themselves. in ways that maybe words can't, or other things like that. And I think more so than anything, it helps provide an escape from life for a little while too, because we all go through tough times, especially right now.
Oh yeah.
But, everybody has those points in life where they're really struggling and they look for something that can help them kind of tune the world out for a little while.
Yeah.
And music provides that opportunity.
Definitely. And it's just, for me, I think it's important for us all to listen to music because then, as you said, as we both said, it's kind of a way to express ourselves, and it's a way for us to, like, say what we want in a few words without actually having to say it. So, I think that's important. And just a general question. What do you think is the general impact music has on people?
Oh gosh, that's such a broad question because music affects everybody differently.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to kind of narrow it down to any one person.
Definitely.
I mean, I can only really speak for myself, and that music. Again, now that I'm doing it as a career and have been for the better part of a decade now, music for me has always had a huge impact. I mean, I started music in a formal setting in 7th grade, and I've been doing it ever since. And for me, that was 1998 when I started doing music, and here we are. What is that? 24 years later, 23 years later, and I'm still doing it again. As a career. So I'd say for me specifically, music has had a huge impact. It's helped, as we've mentioned before, it's helped me through a lot of tough times. It's provided that outlet for me that I can just escape for a little bit. A lot of my best memories in life are music related. Be it marching band trips in college that I went on with the university marching band. Even the marching band trips that I've gone on as a director, a lot of great memories. Several friendships that I have today, I formed through music. I mean, my best friend to this day, we've been friends since 7th grade.
Wow.
Because we met in band. And the guy was the best man at my wedding. I was the best man at his wedding. And we spend a lot of time together. Like I said, the guy is my best friend, and if it weren't for music, he and I may have never met, and who knows.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I can't speak for anybody but myself, but for me, music has had an immeasurable impact on my life.
And that's amazing that you've been doing it for 23 to 24 years. That's a long time to be in the music loop.
Yes, it is, and to not get tired of it.
Right.
And a lot of people always, I shouldn't say always, but I do get asked from time to time, people are like, well, how do you not get sick of music, doing it day in and day out? And I always tell them, I'm like, I love music. It's not a matter of getting, if it's something you love, you don't get tired of it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's just important. And, different, countries and different religions, they all rely on different types of music. Which leads me to my next question. Why do you think other countries like to change their songs into English or English into their music?
Well, I see that as they see, it's been a long time that a lot of other countries have seen the United States as the foremost leader in several different aspects, and then it leads us into popular music specifically, that all these artists are super popular and they like the sound, but they don't necessarily understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
So then they have the songs translated into their language, or, trying to achieve success, they translate from their language into English to hopefully achieve success here. So I would say that's probably reason number one why they would want to do something like that.
That makes a lot of sense. And this is going to bring us into our conclusion.
Okay.
To conclude today's episode of My Teacher is Making Me, most interesting title, we talked about philosophy behind music, why it has an impact on us as people, as friends, as just the world in general.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about how music can help us interpret. And that's very important. Thank you, Mr. Strickland, for
Thank
letting
you.
me interview you.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good day.
You do the same.